What's going on, everybody? So today we're in a different location. It's kind of beautiful. Maybe I'll turn around so you can get it, kind of next to the river. I don't know what flower that is behind me, but let's pretend that it's lavender. I don't think it is though, but it's actually a pretty nice one, or view to say that is. I'm subscribed to the channel, so I want to clear something up just real quick. I had another channel, Life with Fizz, and that was going to be about diet and exercise and other things, discussions and talks. But my one channel that I Snap Crackle Fizzle, my other channel was just going to be about music. Now I don't think actually I'm going to be doing music anymore. I just don't, you know what I mean? I don't know, I just feel like there's more to life. And the real reason I wanted to do music, I'll just say it real quick. What I'm actually going to go over in this video is the #1 cause of heart disease, which is the #1 killer for the most part. I guess fear is the opposite of love. But I'm gonna get into that video. I just want to explain something real quick. Just music, and I always wanted to be famous, you know what I mean, and go do all these things, to go travel the world. But I don't need to actually need music to go do that, basically, you know what I mean? And I've come to a point in my life where I don't listen to other people's music anymore. And it's not that I don't want to listen to it, it's just I have so many other things to do and better things to do. I just don't, you gotta understand, I'm not a person that needs entertained at all. I don't need anybody to entertain me. I'm super good at entertaining myself, and I've been through like a whole process and a lot of things in my life. I don't necessarily like listening to music. Now, that being the case, if it's live and acoustic and raw, you know, and like we're sitting around a fire or something, that's fine. I just don't, I don't like sitting behind a computer and doing my music, and I don't like being indoors. And like I said, I don't even really listen to people's music anymore. Like if it's somebody that I know, that's cool, but I don't like listening to all these people's music. It just, I don't want to say it distracts me, but I don't need to do it. I don't need to listen to it, basically. I don't know how to say, like before, to like upbring me. And I'm not saying it doesn't upbring me and stuff, but I just feel a lot more, and I feel I don't need it anymore. It just naturally happened. It wasn't something that I meant to happen. That should be a video in itself, really, but maybe it should be. But anyways, so I'm probably gonna go back on Snap Crackle Fizzle. I muted all the videos, but I'm gonna bring them back and not probably use the other channel that I was using, and then Life with Fizz, and just use everything on Snap Crackle Fizzle, basically. Because I have more subscribers on there, and I've had that account for longer. Yeah. And it's not that I don't want to do music, but I like music live and like freestyling, and I don't like working on music like all day. It's just, it doesn't seem normal or natural to do, which a lot of musicians just sit there and make music all day, which is fine. But I'm a person that likes to go and do stuff, like hands-on person. I've always been a hands-on person, like always. That being said, there's some, like, I just like moving, basically. Like, I love moving. It makes me feel good, and I get energy from it. And now that I'm feeling better, I'm gonna do it more. And I'm gonna do what I always wanted to do, which is basically be in nature. That's, you know what I mean? I don't need no guides. I don't need nobody to tell me anything. I've been through so much, I know the answers, and I've been deceived all my life and lied to, but you know, all of it happens for a reason, so I'm glad I'm here today. So that was a nice introduction for the video, but I'm going to talk about real quick the #1 cause of heart disease. And well, because in America, and probably I would imagine some other places in the world, the #1 cause of death is heart disease. And when we look what heart disease is, now I'm not going to look at it as a like a physical factor, I guess. But that's not, I'm going to more so look at it in a metaphysical thing. And when we look at heart disease, what it really means is, because it's the #1 disease, it's the #1 killer, cardiovascular arrest, whatever you want to say. The real cause of heart disease is a lack of love. Because if there was love, then we wouldn't have people doing certain things, such as deceiving people for being deceitful and for wrong reasons, evilness, and we wouldn't have all this agendas to kill people, depopulate the world. We wouldn't have fake viruses. Everyone would be happy, healthy, strong, confident. We'd live in a world that was harmony, basically a utopia, a peaceful world. And me saying these videos, I'm not a serious person. I actually laugh my ass off all the time, but the thing is, no one around me can be on that energy or be on that level. And I've experienced it pretty much all my life. No one's actually on that level with me. There's one person, maybe like 2 or 3, you know what I mean? And one of them, I don't really talk to them anymore. So, and they were girls for the most part. That being said, it doesn't have to be a girl. I'm just saying a lot of people don't match my energy, and I'm just saying, like, me being serious, like right now is one of the only times you're really gonna catch me being serious. Anyway, even when I was dying, I was having more fun time than all these other people who were being serious about life. Life is actually not serious. Life is actually a joke. But anywho, number one cause of heart disease is a lack of love, in which we can say the other side of the spectrum would be fear. Anybody who's president or leader of us, we don't have no leaders, first of all. There's no such thing. I don't believe in that. They're fake, they're false leaders. They're faux, they're not real. And this can be easily explained by the fact that we don't need anybody to tell us what to do. We are all for ourselves. We know what the fuck to do. It's naturally instinctive, naturally instinctively built into us. We don't need anybody to tell us what to do. Of course, if we're in a little group, there's somebody who does that, and spiritual leaders, whatever you want to say, what are they, medicine men, or people who do, I'm trying to think of it, shamans, basically, like shamans and stuff like that. But the thing is, I don't need anybody's religion. I don't need anybody to tell me what to do. We have natural survival instincts that are in us. We don't need anybody to tell us what to do at the end of the day. And if that makes sense to you, then you understand we have all these people, presidents, politics, all this bullshit that has nothing to do with reality. Man-made laws has nothing to do with nature. And you could say, oh, but we need rules and laws. We do need some, but they're already embedded in us, which would be not to kill people in your tribe, and not to steal off them, and just common sense, basically the 10 Commandments, which are, you can go look at them if you want, and basically being a good virtue, which what it is. And that would only really consist for a tribal mentality. None of us have, America basically has no culture, it's just a wildfire of other cultures. It's a melting pot. And that's why people are confused all the time. An example of this would be when you go to the grocery store, you have so many options. We don't need so many options. In fact, our body, while it can be, some of it can be a surplus of good things, and we're into the new world, whatever, when we're out, we would grow what's there, and we would eat what's there. It's simple, basic, straight to the point. We don't need entertainment. Again, we would entertain ourselves. Now, I'm not going to get into that, and there can be disputes about that, and I'm not saying nothing's set in stone. Nothing I ever say is set in stone. But the fact is, the matter of the fact is, you get what I'm saying. So when we go back to it, the number one cause of heart disease is a lack of love. These people don't love you. No one actually cares about you. Now, why is this? Because we're not close. We're not together. They want us to social distance. They want us to hate each other. We've been in school, which indoctrines us, most schools. They don't want to tell us the truth. They want to lie to us. If we all knew the truth, we'd be living happily and healthily, confident and strong. You know what I mean? And we'd just basically probably be fucking and having a good ass time. It's just that simple. I'm playing around, just like animals do, like lions do. Lions only eat when they're hungry. When they're not freaking hungry, they play around all the time. I mean, vice versa, they do all the time. Same with snakes and everything else. No one's afraid of a full snake. No one's afraid of a full lion, because the lion's not, if the lion's stomach's full, it's not going to eat more. Anywho, we have people that are against us, and it's just a few people, and a few people that build up, and, you know, they have their own army. They're against us. They don't want us to live, you know, however you want to take that. But the number one cause of heart disease, again, is a lack of love. People don't love you. They don't care about you. And I know this for a hand-given fact. Our family should be well intertwined and connected. It's just so we're all connected. We all feel for each other. We all feel things. It's just as simple as that. Doesn't mean you can't feel connected and eat animals. Don't get it twisted, because you exactly can. Now, these people are out to get you. I don't care. You know what? If people want to go suck people's baby blood and do it for adrenaline and they want to do all this stuff. Now, I know this seems like I'm going a little far-fetched, but it's not. We have all these people that run pedophile rings. You know what? You go do it in an open, and let's see what everyone else does. I guarantee you they won't allow it. They won't allow it to happen, because that's naturally, instinctively wrong. And it'd be almost impossible, unless we're in the situation nowadays, for something to be set up like that, to go and drink, you know, do all this sexual misconduct with kids and do all this stuff, and just all this, you know, crooked stuff, we could say. There is evil and bad. I'm not with the people that say that's not bad and that's not good. I understand it. Trust me, I understand what you're saying, but there is something to that. You know, it's not really evil or bad. It's more so virtues. If you know anything about virtues, something people never talk about, which is something I didn't actually understand for a while either. But there is things, if people have to hide something for you, then that means they're disguising and masking something and don't want you to know, which obviously why they're hiding it. You know, these people are out there basically kill you. They don't lack love. We need to spread love. In fact, I don't even believe everybody has a certain spiritual level or love and fear into them. It's just everybody has it. There's no such thing as, you know, even when we talk about evil people such as Dr. Fauci, and we talk about these people, you know, these names that I don't really even care. Bill Gates, you know what I mean, and all these other people, all these other fake presidents. All these presidents were fake. They never did anything for you. They're controlled. Some of them maybe try to do something, such as JFK, which I give props to him. But most people forget the most thing, which is health. Health is the #1 thing. And if your civilization, your leaders, your tribesmen really cared about you, your health would be conducive to them. It'd be what, you know, that'd be it. Their health is the #1 thing. Not about wars, not about opiums, not about drug trafficking, not about, you know, even all this other stuff. And health, I made this heart disease video before a couple times, but it actually got deleted on my phone a couple times. So I'm actually filming it again, and it's a little bit different this time. These people, you know, heart is the #1 thing. Heart is love. And if #1 killer disease is a lack of love, that's fucked up. If anybody was in my tribes and tribesmen, and they would, you know, I'm not saying listen to me, but for their health, which, you know, if you were tightly knitted with anybody, you would care about their health. For health is wealth. Health is everything, you know. But we have such a luxury where we can take exceeding of our health, and we can go do all these drugs, and we can drink all this alcohol, and we can do all these things, which, you know, there's a point where you know, you can have fun all the time. You can do whatever you want in life. You can go smoke meth. You can go smoke crack. You can drown yourself. You can kill yourself. That's fun to people. But I'm just saying, when you're tightly knitted in a gang, they wouldn't let that. They won't let you get sick. They'll heal you if you get sick. They'll help you. They'll carry you on your back like an army would, and people in the army would. And, you know, there's some sense of tribesmanship when we get into, you know, the army, and when we get into sports, and even these evil people backing themselves up basically do have some type of knitted and do care for each other. It may be not real though, it may be like synthetic. When you really care about somebody, it's true love. It's not, you know, everyone thinks love is, oh, me and my girlfriend, me and her make out and we have sex and we have baby. Love. That's not love at all. Love is just love is for life. Love is that and everything else. Love is for, you know, a guy too. You know, just really caring about them. Love is for nature. Love is for everything you do. You love everything you do. If you hate something you do, then that you're going against yourself. Love is just, it's a feeling. It's not a saying. It's not I love you. It's not just you love your other significant other. It's you're in love with everything, and you genuine care about everything. But at the end of the day, you know, a real person knows, like, you're not going to save everybody. Just like the person, a good example of this, analogy of this was green eggs and ham. Sam always tried to keep feeding the guy who didn't want to eat green eggs and ham, but he kept trying and trying and trying and trying. And I think by the time, I don't think he gave up, but then the guy decided to eat it and he loved it, and he said, Sam, I really love green eggs and ham. Now, you don't have to go to that extent, but that's really something else to go to that extent. But it all depends on, you know what I mean? Some people would just say F it and just forget it, you know, let them find out, because usually they find out on their own, and if they don't, so well, just forget it. a lot of people are we're taught to not care about each other. We're taught not to help each other, not to love. We have to be taught that, because naturally, you look at kids, they love people. It doesn't matter the race. They're always smiling. They're always happy. That's just how we naturally are. And when you look at other things, such as, we have to be taught these things, such as hate, discrimination, almost like enviness and jealousy. Now, envious and jealousy are a little bit different, and so are hate. Like, anger, I meant to say. Hate's something you learn, so is being prejudiced, so is even being judgmental. These things, and this is whatever, everyone's judgmental nowadays. It's so easy, you can read it right on their face. In fact, being non-judgmental, which is kind of like the evil, there's no such evil and bad thing, is just seeing something and just watching it. It's super easy to explain. All these philosophers and all these gurus just want to blow it out of proportion or don't actually feel it. They might have a glimpse and could tell you logically. When you look at something, like right now I'm looking into the river, and it's really good to look at natures and babies. You're not judging it. You'll let a baby do whatever he wants. And a baby is going to have a fun time doing whatever he wants. But when a grown adult does whatever he wants, you judge him. For the most part, most people do. And it's just like, I'm looking out into the river right now. There's just like an essence for love and exploration, which is naturally there. That's the key to life, or the highest essence of life. And it's just like no thought on the mind. Their thoughts are disturbing. Thoughts are all right, but they're not really needed. You know what I mean? Not to say thoughts are bad, but life's more about feeling things. And this is what they try to make everything intellectual, which it's not. It's actually not at all. Just to get intellectual to be in their gang, or to be in their clubs, or in their colleges. Fuck all that shit. You know, if you want to go do it, fine. I have no problem with it. But it's not setting you up for, you know, I don't think it's setting you up for a life that you would want to live to be. And you know what I mean? I have nothing against it, you know? That's my personal opinion. But me deep down, you know, I know it's whatever. At the end of the day, everything is just medium, like everything, nothing actually matters. You know, even if you die, it doesn't matter. It was meant to happen. Whether you die willingly or unwillingly, it's going to happen either way. And, you know, what I was saying though about the things of life and death, you know, it happens all the time, but being judgment of something is just, there really is nothing, you know. And this is the whole thing with feeling. You can feel when someone loves you, actually loves you. They don't need to touch you. They don't need to tickle you. Now, that's a stimulation, and that's good effects, and that's positivity, depending on how they do it. You know, a lot of guys, and the same with girls too, we have misconceptions of what love is and how to feel. I can feel on any girl and not have, and I could give her a foot massage. I can tickle her. I can just playfully play around with her, whatever that is. And I'm not talking about sexually at all, but I'm just saying this conduct that I'm doing, or this touch and feel, it's just a simulation. It's just love. It's just, you know, there's not me having these pure intents that always have sex with somebody. And as you can see, this is not around, you're not allowed to do this, especially in like the USA. Like, that's, people go after you and they'll, oh, call the police, or file charges against him. You know what I mean? Rape, make him go to jail for something he didn't do. Now, I grant a lot of guys do that for reasons, and manipulation and deception. That's like the #1 thing for guys. They love doing that. And I mean, girls probably, I beg to differ, do the same thing. But I know guys on first hand because I see it all the time. They do it all the time. And what do they do it for? Just for sex. Like, they literally do it for sex. Not even because they're really interested in the girl. They just want sex. It's kind of that simple. And I know we went off on a tangent on this, but I was saying in India, I don't know if you know this, but I've heard, and I guess I can only say as I heard, but they probably do this at other places around the world too. They sleep with each other, and sleeping with each other over there is just cuddling. They just cuddle with each other. They don't have sex, you know what I mean? They just cuddle with each other through a cold night. It's just as simple as that, you know? And just because everyone gets, I understand there's some natural tendencies and primal tendencies for some things, and I'm not saying, you know, you might massage a girl or do something with somebody, and yes, you might fall like them, but just some guys out here just freaking, you know what I mean? It just gets like ridiculous sometimes, and you know what I mean by that. It's just pretty simple and logical. Now, at the end of the day, you can do whatever you want. I don't know if I want to turn the camera around and get a view of the river. Let's see what we'll get a view of the river. That looks a little bit nicer. Over here. You know what I mean? Think of what the world would be. I understand we're talking about heart disease, but I pretty much summed it up. It's pretty much a lack of love and just loving someone, not forcibly doing it either. I mean, you can, but it's just naturally there. And if it isn't naturally there, that's mean you've been taught otherwise or some other things. You know, we're just naturally loving people. And people, God is inside of us, and it is the higher conscious, which is love. Love is the strongest weapon. It really is. And what I was gonna say is, you know, if we tore down all this stuff, which doesn't mean we don't have to have cars and airplanes and stuff like this, but we don't need all these concrete jungles, these tall skyscraper, or even bridges, and all this man-made stuff. And you could think, oh, you're Fizz, you're going crazy, but I'm not. If it was all dirt roads, and you know, it'd be so much more alive. We could have so much nature. We tore down nature. We need to rebuild it and integrate us with nature, and we can grow the foods right here. We don't got to go all over the place, or we could ship the foods, but we don't need all these concrete jungles and all this stuff. They have you, I understand some people, this is all you've been taught, but there's other ways around this. I mean, you could say this is my opinion at this point, but I truly believe we're meant to be more with nature, like nature just all around us, like pretty much in a jungle situation, or, you know, wherever you want to be in the world, but we're supposed to be right with nature. We're not supposed to meant to have these concrete roads and all this stuff. And even when you look at the ancient pyramids and stuff like that, it's just like, just basically what I'm saying is how the Native Americans lived is how we should be living. Now, Native Americans aren't the only example, but if you look at the pyramids and stuff, there's not all, like, they have these blocks there that they built. That's it. Like, even like Stonehenge, that's it. There's not streets. There may be paths, but there's not streets made of concrete. I'm not really a fan of concrete at all. And it's, you know, I mean, it's like, it's almost like the opposite of life, but that's something I'm not even going to get into. So that's all I know. I was talking about heart disease. Number one cause is a lack of love, and you can switch that around. You can really love life and love whatever you do, which you should, and have fun, because that's the main point of life. A lot of people aren't going to tell you this, or don't want to tell you this, and I'm just coming straight forward with it. Something else I just wanted to say is just really enjoy your life at the end of the day. Do what matters most to you, and subscribe to the channel, of course. You know what I mean? So that's basically it, I guess. Have a nice day. Stay tuned for more, I guess. Subscribe to the channel. And I really appreciate it if people subscribe and give me a like or share the video. You don't even gotta comment, whatever. But, you know, it gives me some leverage, you know, so I can spread the word. Even if it doesn't spread, you know, the word's still gonna spread. Or, you know what I mean? Whether it reaches one person or 100 person, as long as it meant something. Because I'm not just spewing words out my mouth. I'm not just talking bullshit. I hear so many, like, that's the number one reason I don't like listening to people, because they're just bullshit. They're so serious about what they say, but it's all bullshit. Most of what people say is bullshit, and it's just like, wow. And then people beat around the bush and they tell lies. It's like, I'm just here to have a fun time. Fuck all that bullshit you're talking about. So yeah, I appreciate everything that, you know, people do for me, ever done for me, even all my enemies. And subscribe to the channel. That's it. Have a nice day.